Welcome to World Unveiled, your portal to tales woven from the threads of dreams and whispers of the night. As the stars twinkle above, and the moon casts a silvery glow, we embark on a journey through realms untold. Here, in your sanctuary of stories and serenity, let the worries of the world melt away. Find your most comfortable retreat. Let your eyes gently close and breathe in the calm of the encouraging twilight. Tonight, as you drift on the tides of imagination, we're exploring childhood realms and meet characters as vivid as the dreams they inhabit. So, dear listener, prepare to have your spirit gently lifted to a place where reality blends with fantasy in a world unveiled. The journey within. As the first light of dawn faltered through the forest canopy, Tenzin awoke to a world alive with the sounds of nature. The air was fresh with the scent of moist earth and pine, invigorating him as he prepared for the day's journey. The forest, with its intricate web of life, was a perfect setting for Tenzin to commence the next phase of his journey, the journey within. The path led him deeper into the heart of the forest, a realm where the outside world seemed distant, a place conducive to introspection and contemplation. Tenzin embraced the solitude, using this time to delve deeper into his own consciousness, exploring the inter-landscapes that were as complex and around him. As he walked, Tenzin reflected on the teachings about the mind and its workings that he had received at the monastery. He thought about the nature of thoughts and emotions, how they shaped one's perception of reality, and the importance of mindfulness. These teachings were now more than just concepts. They were real experiences, felt and lived as he journeyed. The forest gradually opened up to reveal a clearing, in the center of which stood an ancient tree, its branches reaching out like the arms of a wife's sage. Tenzin felt drawn to the tree, sensing a profound energy emanating from it. He sat down under its expansive canopy, feeling a sense of protection and peace. In the quietude under the tree, Tenzin began a deep meditation, focusing on his thoughts to flow freely. This meditation was different from those at the monastery. It was more introspective, a journey into the depths of his psyche. Memories, thoughts, and emotions surfaced and faded, like leaves fly down a stream. Tenzin observed these mental phenomena without attachment, learning to see them as transient and not defining of his true self. He remembered a teaching from Lama Sangye: "We are not our thoughts nor our emotions. We are the sky in which these phenomena appear and disappear." This teaching guided him as he navigated the complex terrain of his mind. As the meditation deepened, Tenzin experienced moments of profound insight. He realized that much of his inner turmoil was rooted in his resistance to change and attachment to certain ideas and beliefs. The realization was liberating, allowing him to let go of these attachments and embrace a flow of life with greater ease. Emerging from the meditation, Tenzin felt a sense of clarity and calmness. The experience had been like shedding layers of an old self, revealing a more authentic and centered version of himself. The ancient tree had been a silent witness to this transformation, a reminder of the enduring presence of nature and the journey of self-discovery. The rest of the day, Tenzin continued his trek through the forest, his mind and heart lighter. The teachings he had received, and meditations he had practiced, and the experiences he had encountered were all converging. As the sun set, painting the sky in hues of orange and purple, Tenzin found a serene spot near a gently flowing stream to camp for the night. The sounds of the water and the rustling leaves were a soothing backdrop as he reflected on the day's journey. That night, under a canopy of stars, Tenzin felt a profound connection to the universe. The journey within was not just a path to personal enlightenment, but a journey toward deeper communion with the world and all its beings. It was a journey that was as vast and profound as the starlit sky above him. With the new day, Tenzin continued his exploration through the dense forest, each step a meditation in itself. The soft murmur of the stream accompanied him, a constant reminder of life's fluidity and impermanency. The deeper he ventured into the forest, the more he felt detached from the external world, entering where his inner journey took precedence. This phase of his pilgrimage was marked by a profound introspection. Tenzin found himself confronting deeper layers of his consciousness, unraveling the complex tapestry of his thoughts and emotions. He contemplated the teachings of the great masters, integrating them with his brain experiences, seeking a synthesis of wisdom. One afternoon, while resting under the shade of a large oak tree, Tenzin reflected on a significant concept he had learned at the monastery. He had been taught that the self is an illusion, a transient construct of thoughts and perceptions. This teaching had always intrigued him. But now, in the solitude of the forest, he began to grasp its true meaning. Tenzin closed his eyes, directing his focus inward, observing the rise and fall of his thoughts. He saw how each thought was connected to a sense of self, how this self, still cherished with each passing moment. The realization that there was no solid, unchanging, was both unsettling and liberating. This insight led Tenzin to ponder the concept of ego and its role in human suffering. He understood that much of the pain and conflict in the world was due to the clinging to and defense of this ego self. He saw how his own past struggles had often stemmed from this source. As the sun began to set, casting long shadows through the trees, Tenzin continued his inner exploration. He meditated on the nature of suffering, on the causes and conditions that led to it, and on the path to its cessation. The teachings on suffering and impermanence who had received at the monastery now took on a deeper, more personal significance. That evening, Tenzin set up his camp beside the stream, its gentle flow a soothing counterpoint to the whirlwind of thoughts and revelations of the day. He prepared a simple meal, each action a practice of mindfulness, bringing him into the present moment. Later, as he sat by the campfire, Tenzin felt a profound sense of connection with all beings. He realized that his journey was not just about his own enlightenment, but about cultivating compassion and understanding for all life. The fire's warmth and the night's tranquility enveloped him, reinforcing the sense of oneness with the universe. At night, Tenzin dreamt of walking through a vast, luminous landscape, a symbolic representation of his inner world. In a dreaming, he encountered various figures from his past, each representing different aspects of his psyche. The dream was a journey through the various stages of his life, a reconciliation of his past with his present. Awakening the next morning, Tenzin felt a sense of clarity and purpose. His journey within was revealing the internal point, the unity of life's tapestry. He understood that each step of his pilgrimage was a step towards a greater understanding, not just of himself, but its profound mysteries. With a heart filled with the gratitude for the lessons learned, Tenzin continued his journey through the forest, each step a blend of splendid shadow and shadow. As Tenzin traversed the ever-changing realmspace of the forest, the solitude of his journey provided the perfect backdrop for this deep exploration of the self. The forest, with its ancient trees and hidden paths, seemed to mirror the complexity and mystery of his inner world. One morning, while walking along a path lined with towering pines, Tenzin pondered the concept of attachment, its role in human suffering. He recalled the teachings of the Buddha on the nature of desire and its contribution to the cycle of suffering. From these teachings, once theoretical concepts to Tenzin, now became tangible realities as he observed the nature of his own desires and attachments. Tenzin realized how his attachment to certain outcomes and expectations had often led to disappointment and unrest. This realization was not a cause for despair, but rather an opportunity for growth. He began to practice letting go of these attachments, focusing instead on the present moment and the simple act of walking, breathing. This practice brought a newfound sense of freedom and lightness. Tenzin felt as if a burden had been lifted, allowing him to experience the world with greater openness and curiosity. The forest around him seemed to respond to this inner change, revealing its beauty and wonder in more profound ways. As he continued his journey, Tenzin encountered a variety of creatures, a reminder of the diversity and in turn countless of life. He watched a squirrel busily gathering nuts, a deer gracefully leaping for the underbrush, and birds singing from the treetops. In its own way, was a teacher, showing him the beauty of simply being, of living in harmony with the environment. One evening, while sitting by a small fire, Tenzin reflected on the nature of consciousness. He delved into the teachings he had received about the mind's ability to create and shape reality. He contemplated how his thoughts and perceptions influenced his experience of the world. This introspection led to a deeper understanding of the power of the mind. Tenzin realized that by cultivating positive thoughts and attitudes, he could significantly impact his journey and its daily life. This was not a denial of the challenges and sorrows of life, but a recognition of the mind's role in interpreting and responding to these experiences. At night, under a sky of Tenzin felt a profound sense of unity with the cosmos. The vastness of the universe and the intricacies of the mind seemed interconnected, two aspects of a single, wondrous reality. The stars above were like points of consciousness, each shining with its own light, yet part of a grander whole. The next morning, Tenzin awoke with a sense of clarity and determination. His journey within was revealing deeper layers of understanding and wisdom. He was learning to navigate the inner landscapes with the same skill and mindfulness as he navigated the physical landscapes of his journey. With each step, Tenzin felt more aligned with his purpose and more connected to the world around him. He was not only a seeker on a spiritual quest, but also a part of the vibrant tapestry of life. Each moment opportunity langua, contentumifas. As Tenzin continued his journey through the forest, the path began to ascend, leading him towards a range of hills that promised a new perspective if they moved. With each step, he felt as if he was not only climbing physically, but also ascending to new heights of understanding within himself. The act of walking became a form of moving meditation, each step a deliberate, unmindful act. The teachings of the nature of impermanence and change came to the forefront of his thoughts. Tenzin contemplated how his journey had been a constant process of change, both externally in the world around him and internally within his own being. He had witnessed the changing seasons, the shifting landscapes, and, most importantly, the transformation within himself. This reflection led Tenzin to a deeper appreciation of the present moment. He realized that in the grand tapestry of life, each unit was fleeting and unique, never to be repeated in exactly the same way. This understanding filled him with a sense of reverence for the present, urging him to fully experience and appreciate each moment of his journey. Reaching the top of a hill, Tenzin was greeted by a stunning view. The forest stretched out below him, a sea of green, while in the distance, the mountains stood majestically against the sky. The beauty of the scene took his breath away, reminding him of the incredible beauty of the natural world and its capacity to inspire awe and wonder. Tenzin sat down, taking a moment to absorb the beauty before him. He reflected on the concept of beauty itself, how it was not just an external attribute but a state of being, a resemblance between the observed. He understood that the beauty he perceived in the world around him was a reflection of the beauty within his own heart. As the sun began to set, casting a golden light over the landscape, Tenzin felt a deep sense of peace and contentment. He had come to understand that his journey was not just about reaching a destination, but about the experiences gained along the way. Each step, each challenge, each moment of beauty was a part of his spiritual growth. That evening, as he set up camp, Tenzin felt a profound gratitude for his journey and all that it had taught him. The challenges he had faced, the doubts he had overcome, and the beauty he had witnessed were all integral parts of his path to enlightenment. Sitting by the campfire, Tenzin meditated, allowing the experiences of the day to integrate into his consciousness. A flare crackled and danced, its flames a mesmerizing plum of light and shadow. In the dance of the flames, Tenzin saw a metaphor for constant interplay of light and darkness, form and emptiness, moment and stillness. That night, under the stars, Tenzin felt a deep connection to the universe. He realized that his journey was not just a solitary quest, but a part of the larger journey of humanity. Each step he took was a step in harmony with the rhythm of the cosmos, a dance of existence that was both personal and universal. As dawn broke the next day, Tenzin embarked on a trail that led deeper into the heart of the hills. The path was less traveled, marked by the wildness of nature, and Tenzin welcomed the solitude as an opportunity for further introspection. The morning air was crisp, filled with the scents of a forest, and the soft light of the rising sun cast a serene glow on the path ahead. Tenzin's thoughts turned towards the concept of compassion, a central tenet of the teachings he had imbibed at the monastery. He pondered over the nature of true compassion, not just as an emotional response, but as a state of being, an unconditional love for all beings. He recalled the words of his mentor, Lama Sunlam, who had often emphasized that compassion was the highest form of wisdom. Walking through the tranquil beauty of the hills, Tenzin meditated on the idea of extending compassion to all living beings, including himself. He realized that often the hardest form of compassion is that which we must give to ourselves, accepting our flaws, understanding our fears, and forgiving our mistakes. This realization brought a deeper sense of peace to Tenzin. He understood that his journey was not just about seeking enlightenment, but also about cultivating a compassionate heart, willing to view himself and the world with an understanding and kindness. The path led him to a small, secluded pond, its surface still and reflective like a mirror. Tenzin sat by the pond, watching the reflections of the clouds as they drifted across the sky. A pond, with its calm and reflective surface, served as a metaphor for the mind, how it can be calm and clear, reflecting reality as it is, unmuddied by the ripples of thoughts and in the notion of sense. As he sat in contemplation, Tenzin felt a deep connection with the natural world around him. He saw the interconnectedness of real life, how each element of nature is dependent on the others for its existence. This understanding deepened his sense of compassion, reinforcing his belief in the oneness of all existence. Later that day, as Tenzin made his way through a dense part of the forest, he came across a wounded bird lying on the path. The bird, a small finch with delicate feathers, appeared to have injured its wing. Tenzin felt a surge of compassion for the creature. Gently, he picked it up, careful not to cause further harm, and found a safe spot to place it where it was sheltered and could recover. This act of kindness towards the bird was a manifestation of the compassion he had been contemplating. It was a small gesture, but for Tenzin, It held immense significance. It was a living expression of a compassionate heart. He was striving to cultivate an unconditional love and care for another being. At evening, as Tenzin sat by his campfire, he reflected on the day's events. The tranquil pond, the wounded bird, and the serene beauty of the hounds had all been teachers in their own right, guiding him on his journey within. Each experience had deepened his understanding of compassion, both as a concept and as a practical expression in daily life. Tenzin realized that his spiritual journey was not separate from the world around him. It was deeply intertwined with the natural world, with the beings he encountered, and with the myriad experiences that life offered. His journey within was also a journey outward, a journey towards greater connection, understanding, and compassion for our life. The following morning, Tenzin rose before dawn, immersing himself in the quietude of the early hours. The stars still shimmered faintly in the sky as he began his day with a meditation, focusing on the gentle rhythm of his breathing. In these moments of stillness, he felt a profound connection to the universe, a sense of being part of a greater whole. As the sun's first rays pierced the horizon, Tenzin set off on the path once again. Today's journey took him through a part of the forest where the trees were older, their trunks wide and gnarled, branches reaching skyward like ancient sunset wings. The atmosphere in this part of the forest felt timeless, as if each tree held stories and wisdom from centuries past. Walking amidst these, Tenzin contemplated the concept of time, its fluidity, its impermanence, and its role in the journey of self-discovery. He thought about the cycles of life, the ebb and flow of experiences, and how time was a fabric woven into the very essence of existence. His thoughts then shifted to the concept of karma, the law of cause and effect that governed the universe. This reflection brought a deeper understanding of responsibility and mindfulness in his actions. As he walked, Tenzin became aware of the subtle changes in the forest around him, the way the light filtered through the leaves, the sounds of the forest creatures. He realized that his journey was not just about reaching a destination, but about being fully present in each moment, experiencing the diversity of life. In the afternoon, Tenzin came across a clearing where the sun shone brightly, illuminating a field of wildflowers. The colors were vibrant, a beautiful contrast to the green of the forest. He took a moment to rest in the clearing, basking in the warmth of the sun and the beauty of the flowers. This moment of tranquility was a reminder of the importance of finding joy in the simple things of life. Tenzin understood that while his quest for enlightenment was a serious endeavor, it was also essential to appreciate the beauty and joy that life offered. This balance between the pursuit of spiritual goals and the appreciation of worldly experiences was a key aspect of his journey. As evening approached, Tenzin found a spot to camp near a gently flowing stream. The sound of the water was calming, a natural lullaby that soothed his mind and spirit. He prepared a simple meal, each action a practice in mindfulness, fully engaged in the present moment. That night, under the vast expanse of the starry sky, Tenzin reflected on the day's journey. The ancient trees, the field of wildflowers, and the flowing stream had all been part of his inner exploration. They were reminders of the impermanent in life, eternal non-tightness of all beings, and the beauty that lay in each moment. Tenzin fell asleep with a heart full of gratitude for the journey he was on. He was not only uncovering deeper truths about himself, but also gaining a greater understanding of the world and his place in it. Each step, each experience was shaping him into a more compassionate, mindful, and enlightened being. As the dawnlight filtered through the canopy on the next day, Tenzin embarked on the final leg of this phase of his journey. The path he chose led him up a gentle slope where the trees thinned, giving way to a wide open meadow. The meadow was a carpet of wildflowers, their colors vibrant under the morning sun, and the air was filled with their subtle fragrance. Walking through this natural splendor, Tenzin felt a sense of liberation. He was far from the constraints of structured living and closer to the essence of his true self. This part of his journey had been deeply introspective, a pilgrimage into the depths of his own being. Reaching the center of the meadow, Tenzin sat down, allowing the tranquility of the surroundings to envelop him. He closed his eyes and began a meditation, focusing on the journey he had undertaken. A meditation was a synthesis of all he had learned and experienced, a consolidation of his insights and transformations. In the stillness of meditation, Tenzin experienced a profound sense of unity with all existence. He felt as if that the boundaries between himself and the world around him were dissolving, revealing a fundamental thinness. This realization was not just intellectual, but a visceral understanding, felt in the core of his being. Tenzin saw his journey as a microcosm of the universal journey of all beings, a quest for understanding, meaning, and connection. He understood that his experiences, challenges, joys, and sorrows were part of the human condition, shared by all. As the meditation deepened, Tenzin felt a surge of compassion for himself, for the struggles he had faced, and for all beings who embarked on this journey of life. He realized that enlightenment was not a destination, but a way of being, a state of awareness and compassion that transformed every aspect of existence. Emerging from meditation, Tenzin felt a sense of completeness. The journey within had brought him face to face with his innermost fears and aspirations. It also revealed the inner wisdom and compassion that lay at the heart of his being. Standing up, Tenzin took a moment to gaze at the horizon. The meadow with its wildflowers and the surrounding forest was a reminder of the beauty and diversity of life. It was a symbol of the journey he was on, a journey that was both inward and outward, personal and universal. As he left the meadow to continue his journey, Tenzin felt a renewed sense of purpose. He was more attuned to his inner voice, more aware of his connection to the world, and more committed to the path of enlightenment. The lessons learned in the journey within were an integral part of his being. guiding him as he ventured forward. The path ahead was uncertain, filled with unknown challenges and experiences. Yet, Tenzin stepped forward with confidence, knowing that each step was a part of his ongoing growth as a